This is Darqun with A Letter from America. Let me take you into the past and to a village on the southern coast of Turkey called Patara. It is said that Patara is the birthplace of Apollo, and later in the 3rd century, a son who was born to a rich couple who raised him as a devout Christian. Both of his parents died to an epidemic outbreak while he was still young, but he believed in the words of Jesus to sell what you own and give the money to the poor. And following this belief, he used his inheritance to help the needy, the sick, and the suffering. With his life dedicated to serving God, he eventually was appointed to be the Bishop of Myra while he was still a young man. He became known for his generosity to those in need, his love for children, and his concern for sailors. Diocletian, the Roman emperor, persecuted Christians ruthlessly. The bishop was exiled and imprisoned. During that duration, the prisons were so full of bishops, priests, and other religious leaders that thieves, robbers, and murderers had no place to be in prison. After his release, the bishop attended the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. An original feat that began his legend was that when a poor man who had no dowries for his daughters to be wed and was about to consider selling his daughters into slavery, mysteriously on 3 occasions found a bag of gold that provided the dowries. The bags landed in hanging stockings or shoes left before the fire to dry after they were tossed through an open window. This led to the custom of children hanging stockings by their fireplaces for the holiday. When a band of Arab pirates from Crete came and stole the treasures from the Church of St. Nicholas in Myra, they kidnapped a young boy named Basilios as a slave. He became a personal cupbearer to the emir. During the holiday season, the bishop appeared to the boy, blessed him, and set him down at his home in Myra along with the golden cup belonging to the king. Once, an innkeeper robbed and murdered 3 students on their way to study in Athens and hid their bodies in a large pickling tub. It happened that the bishop was traveling the same road and stayed at this very inn. During the night, the bishop dreamt of the crime, awoke, and summoned the innkeeper. The bishop prayed for the 3 boys, who were returned to life and wholeness. After a pilgrimage following in the footsteps of Jesus, the bishop, while returning by sea, came upon a storm that threatened to sink the ship. He prayed calmly, and the terrified sailors were amazed when the wind, waves, and rain calmed, sparing all. There are other stories of the bishop saving people from famine, protecting the innocently accused, and more. One example is that pure water is known to form at his place of rest. It is also known as manna, and that it has powers of healing. In the 1800s, Christmas changed from being a time of drunken mobs bent on roaming the streets, damaging property, and threatening and frightening the upper class, to an image of families gathered around a tree, exchanging gifts, singing carols, and focusing on children. In 1821, a sighting of the bishop was recorded when he was seen flying a sleigh with flying reindeer. Also, he rewarded the well-behaved children and punished the bad. These rewards were gifts of safe toys, that is, the gifts never represented violence, to include loud or sudden noises. The sleigh supported a bookshelf and appeared on Christmas Eve. Later, in 1823, another recording of another sighting of the bishop noted him as being a stout character and of a jolly nature. In 1863, his acts were noted with drawings that included him with his flowing beard, a fur coat, and supporting the Union Army during the American Civil War. He was accredited by President Lincoln for their victory due to his support that demoralized the Confederate Army. Though this short history is far from being complete, I hope that it gives you a view of the greater depth of Santa Claus, other than just being the jolly old elf that comes once per year to give presents to well-behaved children. Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good night. This has been A Letter from America, over and out.
Now you see that evil will always triumph, because good is dumb.